Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Get Good series. Woo! Yay! For these 2 weeks, mostly I've been trying to focus on doing backgrounds. If you watched like the first episode of, or like the first video I ever made, I kind of mentioned that I wanted to work on backgrounds, but the truth is I never really got to it. I did little studies here and there, but kind of doing full backgrounds by myself. So for this video, this is Ina from Hololive. So when I start these videos, or like when I start these illustrations, I guess, what I usually do is I'll start by thumbnailing my ideas. So for this one, I have multiple thumbnails. You can kind of see it's the same one I chose. Oh, it's the one that I picked. And then over here is like a close-up shot of like the umbrella. Yeah, don't look at my sketches. They're really rough. Over here I have the idea, and then this is kind of what happened. So first off, we can kind of start off here. Here is the sketch. At first I wanted to have like the border for the puddle and stuff, but at the end I decided to take it off because it was too much of a pain to draw the ground. But yeah, this is what I usually start off with. And then big changes, but it's the same sketch and stuff. I put on the base colors and start rendering a little bit just to get the base colors down, because when I like to draw, I like putting down the base colors just to know like what kind of idea I'm going for. And then after that, kind of depends on where I want to go. So sometimes I'll do the line art, but usually I'll just render. So after this, I'll just go in. You can kind of see here the line art, or fake line art, I guess you could call it, because it's not really line art. It's more like me painting over stuff. And you kind of see how messy it is even for now. From over here, this is just my process. So you know, oh, don't look at that. Avoid that part. Yeah, that's just like kind of what I like to do. And from here, I'll usually also change the colors. So like if I don't like something, I'll add like a tone curve, or I'll mess around with the colors. So I don't really like how dark it looks, so I kind of changed it in the last one. And the last one is like also where I start like rendering stuff too, and liquefying. Over here is like the final. If you can't really tell, it's like the idea was like that you are the little thing over here, the little taco, and you're looking down, and then the view is reflecting up into the sky and into Hina, the character. And then you have water and stuff, and then you have clouds up in the sky. For me, it was really hard. Like when I grab references, right, it's kind of hard to get like a more dynamic pose like this. So I kind of have to just like come up with it, or like I guess you can take a photo if yourself, but I don't really like doing that for personal reasons. But yeah, you can see over here I have a bunch of filters as well. For water, I found that like, I don't know if you can see over here, liquefying it kind of helped with making it look more water-like. So I just went over here and got like my liquefy pole and started messing around. I kind of had like 2 different ideas for this one. So over here you can kind of see like the final edit. This one, it captures the idea better that I was going for, but I think it looks worse visually. With anime, you can kind of, I don't know, cheat a little bit. Not really cheat, I guess the better word would be like kind of lie in your composition, where it's not really realistic, but it looks nicer. So this is the one I chose. I think it's much brighter, and even after I was like done all of this, I wasn't satisfied with it. So we have one last step.
Here we go again.
You know, before and after, no external help from others. I just pulled this out of my brain, okay? Alright, this is the final composition. All done by me, all done by hand. I fixed everything by myself with no external help from other people. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at the texture in the clouds. Look at the face. Look at the water. Look at how much better it looks over here. Alright, I lied to you guys. The truth is, I didn't actually do this at all. This is actually not done by me. This was done by Pocket Noob Star, okay? Basically, I had to sell my soul to get a critique from him. He basically fixed my art. Or not fixed. He doesn't like that. Critiqued my art. I guess we can kind of go over it. The things I like. I really like the cloud textures. Usually when I'm drawing, I'm like, I kind of hate textured brushes and stuff because they're just so slow on my PC. But I really like the way that he draws them. Over here, we can kind of see it. And we can kind of see the colors too. I like the colors for over here. This area specifically. I really like the way he edited these colors on Ina. I think it looks a lot cuter. And I think the water looks a lot better too. If you want to critique, you should check him out. You know, stalk his YouTube, stalk his Twitch channel, stalk his Twitter. Usually when I'm drawing, I'm not like, I never really think, so it's kind of good and like kind of interesting to get someone else's perspective on what they think and like how their thought process works and like what they're thinking of. That's basically it for this one. For the next one, is Sekai from Sevio. You know, it's the same idea for this one too, where I have like a thumbnail, and then from the thumbnail I'll kind of start working. So over here we kind of got the sketch. Just ignore this part over here. We kind of get the idea, and I lay down the little parts around for the composition and stuff. I think for backgrounds especially, you kind of want to plant the stuff while you're drawing it, so you don't have to like worry about it at the end. Just a character in a white background. It's kind of hard to come up with a background because you have to like, you're kind of like doing it in reverse when you should be doing it alongside your drawing. And then after the base, I think I changed the composition, so I didn't really like this anymore. So this is the change composition, right? I don't want to undo, so imagine it in your heads, okay? And then for this drawing, instead of rendering right away, I tortured myself, okay? I tortured myself to line arting. I think it's just a matter of like practice and like kind of getting used to the pen pressure. Kind of gotta be patient with it. For line art, there's not much to say, to be honest. Make sure to try to vary your line weight a little bit. I know for me, I don't really vary anything, but if you want to have really nice line art, I think it's very important to do that kind of stuff. And then I guess I wanted to have a border. I think it kind of frames it better. I always kind of try to have a border now. Over here, render time. I don't know what to say about rendering really. It's just you kind of gotta try to imagine where the shadows are, where like the coping folds are, and like how the light would interact with your photo and stuff. Finally, I have this. And maybe it looks it probably looks a lot crazier, but to be honest, like I think mostly what it comes down to for me, for like the difference of the drawing, is like textures that I use. Like I'm not usually one to use a lot of textured brushes, but for this one I really wanted to give it a try because of another artist I kind of liked. I was inspired by them. Yeah, you can kind of see here are the textures that I use and other stuff. I think there's some really cool stuff with Flip Studio. Like if you make a new layer, you can kind of have a border. Like hopefully you guys can see it. And this kind of helps me with drawing like these kind of small things like petals and stuff. Instead of like lining the outside of everything and then coloring it in, you can kind of just paint it in with this. It speeds up the process if you're, instead of like lining every single flower and stuff, it kind of gives the same effect of line art, but without all the hassle of like doing perfect line art everywhere. And for backgrounds and stuff, where like it's a lot easier to like hide stuff, so I think it looks nice. Other than that, it's the usual stuff for me. You know me, I'm a lover of filters. Over here, it's the same RGB, noise, and some Gaussian blur as well. So I'm always using this in all my drawings. I think it helps with directing the attention to the character over here. I think another thing too is like with composition, you gotta pay attention to like rule of thirds. You wanna, if you have your canvas, you wanna split it up into where you want the character. Usually you want the character in one of the four corners over here. It helps with directing your attention. Another thing that you can do is light and contrast is also another thing that helps with directing attention. So you kind of see here that I'm trying to direct your eyes into the butterflies, and they kind of form this triangle. I don't know how they work, but apparently, from what I know, or from what I've like heard, you're supposed to direct your eyes. So hopefully it worked. I never really know what works or not, right? I just try things out and hope that it looks nice. So hopefully it actually worked this time. And your attention to the eyes and like the face. Because that's the focal point, of course. Always is the focal point for me. I'm not a background artist. That's why I'm always practicing these days. Next, we have another critique. Boom. All me. No help. It's always good to get another opinion, a second opinion on like when you're drawing. There we go. We fixed it. So basically with this one, I think it's the same drawing, but like I think the focal point's a lot more pronounced compared to this one. The value is much more exaggerated. To be honest, if I'm gonna be real, I do not like the top. I like the top when it doesn't have this. I think it gives more room for the character. You know, that's just me. That's just me. People could say otherwise, but you know, that's just me. I think it looks better like this, so you can actually focus on the character more. I think with the top, it looks a bit too busy. For my taste, personally, I would never I would never disagree with another artist. We over here we got a character from Unknown Show, the little rat. You know, you can just look at the reference in it. You can kind of see what I kind of took and what I kind of changed. So like over here, the spoon is the same, the hat's kind of the same, and like the pose is the same, but like the character isn't. I even took the colors too. But these kind of drawings, I don't really think that much. I think for like when you're just waking up or you're just warming up, it's kind of fun to just mess around, not give anything too much thought, and just draw something fun. Most of the time, that's what you want to do, right? Drawing should be fun for you. Over here, after drawing like the Ina background, I was so tired of drawing backgrounds that I used another photo. So basically, from Unsplash, I took a photo. After doing that, I usually put it through like a bunch of filters and stuff. Basically, this is what it looks like before I start doing anything. You can kind of see even here, like, look at my hands. I'm always hiding my hands and stuff, or like not drawing them fully. I think for like sketches and like scribbles, it's okay. That was basically it for this one, I guess. I tried focusing on the lighting a bit, so you can see over here with the filters, I have like dust particles. I have the same butterflies that I drew because I'm too lazy to draw them again. And then you kind of see over here with the dust and stuff. RGB effect, like always, because, you know, I love it. I always think it looks cool. It's just a very simple drawing, actually. It's not like... For these ones, it's like a small character. And this one, it's not even like the face, so you don't have to work that hard. It's just the back pose, and then over here, you get filters. For filters, it's the same thing as always. Noise, RGB, and then light and glow for like the butterflies a little bit. And yeah, you can kind of see here, I kind of messed around too. I changed the pose a little bit because to hide the hands more. You know, you just hide the hands. You don't want to draw them, hide the hands. It's okay. You don't have to draw them. That's all I did for this week. I don't really know what to do. I never really know what to talk about for these weeks, and like if these videos even like are able to help anyone. I always feel so like crazy. I feel like a maniac talking to myself and like talking about my own drawing process. When usually, right, when I'm drawing, I'm like kind of empty. There's like no thoughts in my brain. I got something a little special for you guys. Because I didn't draw as much this week, and I was mostly working on these like backgrounds, which took so much time. Don't draw backgrounds, guys. Just use a photo and bash it together. Use anything to not draw a background. But because I didn't, and because I never really know how to end off these videos, I kind of wanted to show off an older drawing that I did in 2020. I think this is early 2020. We got this one. 2020 drawing. Hopefully you guys can see I've improved over the time. Maybe not, maybe you don't see it. 2020 drawing. That's basically it for this week. Hopefully, even though it's a bit of a shorter video, like last time when I made the video, I was like 20 minutes in. I was so tired of it, and I was editing for so long. So hopefully this video is still enjoyable to you guys. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, who knows. I hope to see you again in the next 2 weeks in another video. Bye bye.